Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian and I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Western Canada. I hope that all of you are having a great week so far. Welcome to the class, everybody. In this class, everyone, we are looking at an IELTS speaking section. Specifically, we are going to be looking at speaking part 1 on the topic of doing physical exercise. Welcome, Fuang. Good to see you in the class today. Hi, Elizabeth, Domenico. Nice to see so many of our members. Welcome, Carolina, our chat moderator. Good to have Nipa, Shahana, and lots of other students ready to learn and improve English. Students, this lesson is presented to you by aehelp.com for academic IELTS success. Visit us there. For the general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com. These are the websites that we use to power these live lessons. They are our websites, and we will be using them today to interact with students. This is our academic IELTS website here at aehelp.com. You can join the premium version of our IELTS course by clicking this big red button that's just right above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We are an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. We're an IELTS test registration center. I'm a certified British Council agent. We are here to help you, and we help thousands of students every single month. You can check out their success stories on the website. We've got some new ones for you here as well today. For general IELTS, it's the green background, gieltshelp.com. Again, just click that big red button and you have access to all of our practice exams, strategies and tips videos, our interactive course. You are good to go. You've got study plans there to set you on the right path for IELTS success. Students, you can use this code CREATE9 for a 10% discount on the websites. Just enter those when you are in the checkout form. You can download our apps and link them to your web account, Academic IELTS Help, General IELTS Help. You can also get access through YouTube by going to Shopify and getting our courses from there. You just have to send an email so we can activate your account. Instagram, we are now well over 100,000 followers strong at IELTS_AE-help. Thank you everyone for that. That was an exciting week last week. GIELTS Help as well. And if you have questions for me or my colleagues, we are here to help you 24/7. Adrian at aehelp.com or admin at aehelp.com. Students, we've got a full lineup of live classes this week, starting today with this speaking part 1 for everybody. Tomorrow we'll have reading for members, and then we'll have listening part 1 and 2 for subscribers. So definitely subscribe to the channel. You'll get notifications of these live classes, and you can join that chat tomorrow. And then we've got speaking part 2 and speaking part 3 on Saturday. So lots going on. If you are ever feeling a bit bored, you can always check out our latest video release in the channel or on the channel. I'll copy that into the chat there for you. Let's get right into it. Let's get into IELTS speaking. So the speaking, everybody, for newcomers, it's 12 to 15 minute interview. And it has 3 parts. You will be starting with part 1. So the way that it works is you go to your IELTS exam center. Go nice and early. Go like an hour before. Practice your English. Make sure that your mind is turned on for English, and that means you should be speaking English the day of your exam, even the day before, and especially the 1 hour leading up to your speaking interview. It takes the brain a bit of time to really start grooving in a language. Let me write that word down for you. It takes time, at least an hour, for the brain, not just your brain, everybody's brain, to really start grooving. It's kind of a slang, but it's a good slang in this situation, grooving in another language. So show up early to your exam, practice before your exam. And you should always be thinking about your key strategies for your speaking, especially on exam day. So you'll register for your speaking interview 20 minutes before you meet the examiner. They will take your picture. You will have to show your identification that you used to register. They will ask you to leave any possession in the registration room that cannot be taken with you into the interview, such as a mobile phone or a smartwatch, or basically anything other than a pencil, pen, paper. Well, no, they give you paper. Pencil, pen, a bottle of water, and your identification. You will have to show that to the examiner as well. All right, welcome Umra, our chat moderator. Again, everybody, you can ask Umra and Carolina questions as well. They are here to help you. They have been in these classes for some time. They're very familiar with the IELTS. Both of them have sat the IELTS. And they know a lot about the test and a lot about our company and a lot about how to improve for your scores. So you can ask them questions as well as me throughout this session. Key strategies. What's the first one, everybody? So we have lots of students who are in these classes regularly. What's the first strategy? What is the number one strategy that you should remember for your IELTS test? Okay, it's as long as you remember this one, you can't go that wrong, okay? Somebody says, be confident. Being confident is important, but it's not the number one strategy. So it's important to be confident. Elizabeth says, be prepared. It's important to be prepared. Again, there are so many ways to be prepared that it's not really specific enough. The number one strategy is a very specific strategy. Okay, it's a very, very specific strategy, and hopefully on one beautiful day sometime in the future of these lessons, everybody will answer me with this exact series of words. Fuang, that's right. Answer, explain, example. That's right, Carolina. Answer plus explain plus example. Okay, so what I mean is when you're thinking about answers, you should always think, use the question to give a specific answer, add the word because as a result, so any cause and effect, because, give an explanation, and then oftentimes think about the example. Even if you're thinking about the example, when I see candidates doing this, they still sometimes forget for some questions. So it's always good to think about an example. And just keep it simple. Don't say, for example, say like, or just the other day. As long as the example is fitting and it's suitable for your answer, it will make sense, okay? So like, and then the example. And then stop, okay? Stop talking, wait for the next question. Sometimes the issue that happens is people just keep talking, they go off topic, they start to make some weird mistakes in their language and in their thinking. So just stop. That's another important skill that you need to master, is knowing when to stop, right? Let me give you an example of what I mean here. So again, we're going to be talking about physical exercise today, and here's a question the examiner can ask you. How often do you engage in physical exercise? So your answer could be, I frequently do some physical activity because I like to stay healthy and it improves my energy levels for the day. I exercise about 4 to 5 times a week, just yesterday I hit the gym for almost 2 hours. Okay, so that would be your Band 9 answer. All right, it's clear, it's accurate, it's fluent. You have an explanation, you have an example. Okay, so that's what I want you to do in today's class. That's what I want you to practice with me. I want you to practice using the questions, giving answers, explanations, and examples. So again, just repeat after me. This is a speaking class, so make sure to speak and repeat. Let's talk about exercise and sport. How often do you engage in physical exercise? I frequently do some physical activity because I like to stay healthy and it improves my energy levels for the day. I exercise about 4 to 5 times a week. Just yesterday, I hit the gym for almost 2 hours. Now, of course, we have some nice vocabulary here like hit the gym. Okay, means go to the gym. It's a little bit of slang. Slang is absolutely okay to use as long as it's correct. Idioms are okay to use as long as they're correct and not forced. Numbers are really good to use 4 to 5 times a week. Okay, almost 2 hours. Numbers make our language very clear and comprehensible for the listener. Okay, here we have David giving an answer. Let's check it out, David. Good on you. You can absolutely put your answers into the chat. I'm happy to give feedback throughout the class. So David says, I frequently do physical exercise because it's one of my favorite hobbies to stay fit and preserve my sculptured body. I go to the gym every day for 2 hours. Okay, every day with a space, okay, because it's not an adjective here, so every day. And just one other correction here, David, it's not sculptured body, it's sculpted body. Okay, that's a tricky one. But otherwise, it was really good. You had the answer, the explanation, and the example. Okay, very nice. All right, well done. So keep thinking about that as we go through the questions. All right, let's just jump in. So you're at the exam center, you're practicing with other candidates, you're reviewing your notes, you're thinking about your strategies. And finally, the moment comes, you go and you sit with your examiner and the examiner meets and greets you. And the IELTS examiner says, welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. It has 3 parts. I will give you instructions for each. We are conducting this exam in Victoria, Canada at Exam Center 759YQ. This is candidate number 98432215 and examiner number 79931. I'm recording this for clerical and marking purposes. Let's begin. Now, while that's happening, while the examiner is saying all of this information, they always do, picture them as your grandfather, as your grandmother. You're comfortable, you're going to speak loud and clear, you're confident, you're going to give clear explanations. They're not from your generation, they don't know about Instagram, they don't know about artificial intelligence, about self-driving cars. So you have to give really good explanations, okay? Focus on yourself. If the examiner is making strange faces, if they smell funny, if they're clicking their finger, tapping their foot, don't worry about it. Just focus on you. Take your hands, put them on top of the table. Use your hands to elevate your voice. Body language is a good idea. There's some really silly videos out there that say, oh, you don't get marked on body language, don't worry about it. No, you don't get marked on body language, but body language helps you communicate, okay? It's important to use. If you watch those videos where they give you that silly information, you will see that the presenter is using lots of body language to communicate with you. So it's quite ironic. All right, so use your body, use your voice, project your voice, okay? It's good, it helps your confidence. And then the examiner will ask you, what is your full name? Now, right away, from the beginning, present your best English. Formal, polite, respectful English. Nice, full sentences. Anna has this answer for us. And don't make mistakes for these introductory questions. It's really awkward. If somebody has a high level of English, even when they're nervous, they can introduce themselves. Okay, you should never be so nervous that you can't introduce yourself. Then you definitely have to deal with that issue first. Anna says, well, my first name is Anna and my family name is Popova. Please call me by my first name, Anna. That is really good. Okay, nice full sentence answer. That's a lovely answer, Anna, and that will work. Okay, all right. Ahmed, thank you. Yeah, I'm full of energy. I had a good night's sleep. Domenico, just yesterday I wrapped up another weightlifting session focusing on giving my legs a good workout. Domenico, that was for the previous one, and that's good. Okay. Onkar Desai has this answer for us. My name is Onkar and my family name is Desai. You can call me by my first name, Onkar. Now, Onkar, in this situation, it's strange to give permission to the examiner to call you by a specific name. It's better to ask. It's more polite. It's more fitting for the situation. So instead of saying you can call me, it's better to say please call me. Okay, or please refer to me as. So asking a person to call you a certain name, especially in this kind of a setting, is better than giving them permission. It sets a better tone for the interview. Okay, a lot of people do this, you can call me. It's actually a bit strange. And I think it's an old template that just kind of got really popular on the internet, but it's not a very good template. It's definitely better to ask, say, please call me by this name. Okay. All right. Then the examiner will ask for your identification. Sometimes it's the other way. So sometimes they ask you for your identification before your name, sometimes after they ask your name. Regardless, these two questions come first. So may I see your identification? Again, full sentences, everyone, for these questions, okay? Full sentences. You don't just answer yes here or okay. It's awkward, okay? So full sentences. That will also set your confidence on the right path, okay? Okay, very important. So full sentences. All right. So Aditya says, yes, please. Here is my passport. This is one of the most common mistakes by candidates. So pay attention to each other. You can learn a lot from your peers. Most common mistake by candidates. And as soon as I hear this, now this is going to really weird you out, but as somebody who has been teaching, measuring IELTS, assessing students for more than 10 years, as soon as I hear this, Aditya, unfortunately, in my head, what I start to think, okay, is this is likely a band 6 to 7 candidate at best. Okay, so you want to avoid this mistake. All right. Yes, please. This is not correct English. In fact, it's actually strange English. If I ask you if you want water, like, would you like a glass of water? And you say, yes, please. That's correct English, okay? But if I say, may I see your identification, and you are giving me something, a piece of information, or in this case, your identification, then you cannot just say, yes, please. It's awkward English, and it's used in a different situation. So Aditya, you have to say, yes, please have a look, because you're actually asking me to do something, right? So yes, please have a look. Here is my passport I used to register. So I really hope that I can convince everybody who sees this video now and forever to not make this mistake, okay? This mistake is really kind of shooting yourself in the foot, okay? So I'm just going to emphasize this one more time because I hear so many students making this mistake, and I really don't want you to make it, okay? Do not just say, yes, please, because you are shooting yourself in the foot. It's an idiom. You are shooting yourself in the foot basically means that you are giving yourself a low band score before the exam even starts. Okay, a band 7 to 9 candidate, so a person who is good, very good, or expert in English would not make that mistake. They would not say yes, please in that kind of a situation. It would be very awkward. Okay. All right. So make sure that you're really careful with that. All right. Okay, Koabui has this answer for us. Of course, here's my identification that I used for registration. Please take a look. Yes, and that's good. So you're finishing the phrase, please take a look, or please have a look. Okay. Do not say yes, please. Everybody good on that? Right. Mal says, I'm convinced. Okay. We only say yes, please when we're answering a request to give us. Okay. So would you like a slice of cake? Yes, please. Okay. Would you like a glass of water? Yes, please. Do you need some help with your pronunciation? Yes, please. Can I see your identification? Yes, please have a look. Okay, it has to be finished. All right, don't start with strange English. Now, sometimes candidates say, oh, but I heard they're not marking me on these first few questions. True, technically, they're not marking you. Okay, so you won't see them writing anything in their notebook at this point. But in their head, they're definitely measuring your ability in English. So if you make awkward mistakes during the introduction, it's going to be an uphill battle. Okay, that's going to be my next idiom for you here. All right, I'm giving you a few here. So avoid mistakes during the introduction. Otherwise, it is going to be an uphill battle. Okay, uphill battle, this idiom means that it's a difficult position to recover from. Okay. And come out on top. Again, another idiom that means to be successful. Lots of idioms, just introducing these strategies. So again, avoid putting yourself into an uphill battle. Okay? And fucks ridden, definitely be real. Yeah, absolutely, you want to be real. Okay? All right, and then the examiner will say, now I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Do you work or study? Okay, give a nice full sentence answer for this one as well. Do you work or study? So I both work as a server in a restaurant to pay for a school, and I'm in the engineering program at the University of Toronto. I'm in my 3rd year. Okay, that's it. So notice this use of what's called a correlative conjunction to emphasize and stress the information. Do you work or study? I both work as a server in a restaurant to pay for school, and I'm in the engineering program at the University of Toronto. I'm in my 3rd year. Fantastic. Okay. Okay, Stormy Music has this answer for us. I recently studied in Le Don High School. It's a school for gifted students, and my major is physics. Okay, this would be like a band 5. Why? So help me analyze here, and this will help you to realize and remember what mistakes to avoid. Do you work or study? Stormy Music says, I recently studied in Le Don High School. It's a school for gifted students, and my major is physics. This would be a band 5 answer. Why is that, students? Why does Stormy Music only get a band 5 for this kind of content? Now, of course, we'd be measuring fluency and pronunciation and other aspects, but just on content. And you have to remember that content is king, okay? Content is king. That is related to the answer, explain, example, strategy, right? So content is king, right? It's not just how you say it, but it's what you say. So David says, and you can see here, Stormy, that other students also pick up on it. So it's not just this mean examiner that's sitting here going, I'm going to make the life of this candidate horrible. No, it's other people will pick up on it too. Okay, so it's not just this examiner that you're blaming for marking you low. Other people also pick up on it. Elizabeth and David both say there's a tense mistake there, right? Stormy, you see that? So do you work or study? This is present tense. The examiner is not asking you what you did. The examiner is asking you what you do, right? And here you have I studied, right? So it doesn't really answer this question because I'm asking you, what are you doing now? It's like, well, it's nice. Thanks for telling me that, but that's not what I asked you, right? And then you go on to even explain more about that. And it's kind of like, well, that's still nice, but I'd like to hear an answer for what I'm actually asking you. And then you say, my major is physics. And somebody thought this was a tense mistake, but I actually think this is an information mistake. I think what you're trying to tell me is that right now you're in university and you're studying physics. That's my guess, but I'm guessing, okay? The examiner cannot be guessing at what you say because that means you're miscommunicating. I'm guessing that you are in university. Now, I'm not picking on you, Stormy. This is very common. A lot of candidates make these mistakes. They don't actually answer the questions, even though they understand them. I'm guessing that you are in university studying physics. That's my best guess, right? Okay. So it has to be clear. So Stormy Music, what I think you maybe should be saying is currently I am not employed. I am studying a physics major at Hanoi, I think, University. And I'm in my second year. Okay, so that would make a lot more sense. All right, make sure that you're answering accurately. Okay. Okay, Tarushi says, I am a university student and I'm in my final year. Also, I work as a childhood teacher. Okay. Sure. So this would be like a band 6 answer as far as content. Of course, at this point, I'm not hearing your voices yet, so I can't judge you on fluency and pronunciation and so forth. I can only judge you on content, right? Based on content, this is fluent English, and it's possibly good English, so it could maybe get you a 7 ultimately if you don't make too many mistakes in your speaking. So this would be like a band 6 to 7 for content. Okay, so you're on the right track. You're answering the question, Tharushi, so you're definitely on the right track. You're in present tense and you're answering okay here. You're talking about your school and your work. The reason why I'm only giving you a band 6 to 7 is because it's vague. Okay, does everybody know what that word means? Vague. Okay, vague means it lacks detail, not enough detail to really make much sense or to have much utility or much use. Okay, so that's what vague means. Fuang means it's kind of unclear. Yeah, Aditya says it's not specific. It's kind of lacking details. Okay. Tanvir, yeah, it's okay if you start in the past and finish in the present, but it's not the best because you could say your answer just all in present tense and it would be much more accurate. Okay? So vague means it's lacking detail. It's not enough detail and doesn't really make much sense. So Tarushi, I am a university student. Where? Okay, and I'm in my final year of what major? Also, I work as an early childhood teacher. What school? What grades? Okay, so if I'm your examiner, these are all questions that are kind of just left stuck in my head. And you have to remember that the IELTS speaking exam is a little bit different from a real conversation, and it's definitely different from your ESL or English classroom, okay? Keep this strategy in mind, everybody. It's, again, a very important one, okay? So the IELTS interview is different than a real conversation. And this is where, you know, somebody was saying, just make it real, just keep it real. Yes and no. It has to be real, but it also has to be professional, okay? It has to be expert. So the IELTS interview is different than a real conversation and certainly very different from an ESL class, okay? What do I mean by that? I mean that the examiner will not behave like your friend or your teacher. Okay, this is the key part here. So the examiner will not really be asking you for clarification or for more details, okay? Instead, they will simply mark you lower for fluency and coherence. Okay, now, some of you might be thinking, well, Adrian, you're wrong, because my examiner was asking me, they're like, can you explain? Can you give more details? Yeah, or they have the word why on their question sheet, like why, right? And you're right, they do. Guess what though? If they're asking you that frequently in your interview, you're getting lower scores, okay? Because they're asking you and they're kind of pulling the information from you. If they're pulling the information from you, it goes back to the same. You're getting lower scores for clarification and details. So some of you might be thinking, well, my examiner says, okay. So if your examiner keeps asking you for more details, why, right? That's the question they have in brackets on their question sheet, okay? Then again, it's going to lead to lower scores. If the examiner keeps asking you for more details, why? Can you give more details? Can you explain? This will also lead to lower scores. Now, don't panic if they ask you once or twice. It's not the end of the world. But if they're asking you this question or these questions frequently throughout the interview, that's a problem. Okay, so this will also lead to lower fluency scores. And those are your most important scores, your coherence and your fluency. Okay. Now I see lots of people giving it more of an effort. Yep, only put your response once in the chat, otherwise the moderators will clean up the chat. Okay. Rahul has this answer for us. I used to work as a software engineer, but currently I'm pursuing my master's degree in information technology at Brack University, which is 5 kilometers away from my residence. Okay, that's good. That's much better. So you start in the past, which is okay. It's not bad to do that. You're kind of making a connection here of what was and what is. You're definitely coming back to the question, which is really good. And then you're giving me some more details and some numbers. This is definitely now more in the band 8 to 9 range, because I'm thinking, yeah, okay, they answered the question. I can infer that they're not working right now. That would be a fair guess. And they're giving me some good details on what they're studying, where they're studying, location-wise. I can picture it. It's a lot better. Okay. All right. So it's good. Okay. Then they'll ask you another question. Do you have a hobby? Sure. Yes, I like to watch movies, play sports with my friends, and recently I got into 3D printing, which is true, I did. It's one of my new hobbies I'm enjoying. 3D printing. I love creating little characters for my friends and family with my 3D printer. I made a koala bracelet for my daughter yesterday. Okay. So again, present tense. Do you have a hobby? It's now, right? And answer, explain, example. Yes, I like to watch movies, play sports with my friends, and recently I got into 3D printing. I love creating little characters for my friends and family with my 3D printer. I made a koala bracelet for my daughter yesterday. Okay. Juan Pablo says, what program do you use to model? I just download them, Juan. I haven't actually gotten into creating the 3D models yet, but it's Cuora, I think, is the name of the software that I use to slice the models. All right. Alex says, I currently work in a vehicles manufacturing factory as a data analyst, and aside that, I also prepared for IELTS to pursue my master's studies in America. Alex, that's good. Okay. For the previous question, obviously. Hardcore RVD, hard to kill, says, I have a lot of hobbies like listening to music, playing games online, and walking around the crush house for impressing her. I'm guessing that you like walking around the house of the girl that you have a crush on to impress her. Careful, that's a very tricky concept to explain clearly. Maybe leave that one out, okay? Don't let emotions control your speaking. Students, that's another really important tip that I can give you, okay? This is another big difference between real life and the IELTS exam. So do not let your emotions and your desire to give a piece of information control your content. It's a very important tip because we often have feelings, ideas, opinions that can be extremely difficult to explain to another person, even in our own language. In the IELTS, your goal is not to make the examiner laugh or cry or think about philosophy or theory. Your goal is to get a good band score, okay? If you really think the examiner is awesome and you want to, explain this theory to them, send an email later, okay? But don't do it during the exam, all right? So do not let your emotions and your desires to give certain information control your content. Some information is extremely challenging to explain, even in one's own language. So choose wisely, okay? Choose wisely. Choose your answers according to your ability to explain them, okay? That's a very important tip. Remember, ultimately your goal is to get a good band score, not to make the examiner become a vegetarian or go on a mission to save the dolphins. Okay, that's not your goal here, all right? Your goal is to get a good band score, not to make the examiner cry, laugh, or theorize. Okay, does that make sense, everybody? Yes? I'm looking at the chat. I definitely, we're going to be interacting here pretty soon, and I want you to really think about these points, okay? All right, be very careful. Okay, Kruti says yes, that makes a lot of sense. All right. Okay, everybody. Again, these theories and these tips that I'm giving you, you can learn in your premium course at aehelp.com. We'll be using these websites very, very soon to interact with each other. Okay? All right, Harman. Khalud, thank you. All right, everybody, let's get into it. So now, once you've introduced yourself, you've said a couple of pieces of information about who you are, the examiner will say, let's talk about exercise and sport. And then they will ask, how often do you engage in physical exercise? Now, we already practiced this. So I frequently do some physical activity because I like to stay healthy and it improves my energy levels for the day. I exercise about 4 to 5 times a week. Just yesterday, I hit the gym for almost 2 hours. Fantastic. What types of exercises or sports do you enjoy the most? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. What types of exercises or sports do you enjoy the most? Notice the S's here. It's very important. All right, there's plurals. Again, pay attention to the question, not necessarily what you want to say, but what you need to say. Okay? Okay, again, keep your eye on the prize. Band 8, Band 9, it's possible. All right. So what types of exercises or sports do you enjoy doing the most? Okay. All right. Alex says, I'm unable to purchase your course. My visa is automatically declined and restricting to accept foreign payment options. Please tell me, is there any other method? Yes, Alex, you can buy it through Shopify on YouTube. Like I mentioned, you should see the product on YouTube, and you can purchase it through there. Let me just see if that is there. If not, I can attach it. Okay. Let me see. I'll add it right now. Okay, while you guys are working on those answers. All right. Okay, so I added the products to this class. You should see them come up. If you don't, just refresh your page and you'll see 2 products now, Academic IELTS Premium Package and General IELTS Premium Package, and they're available now through this live chat, through the actual live stream. Yeah, Carolina says, I don't see the products, but Carolina, I just added them. So if you refresh the page, you would see them. You should be able to. Let me know. Okay. MTJ says, I bought it twice by mistake. Yeah, MTJ, I'm pretty sure I refunded one of those for you, right? Okay. All right, so let's see some answers for this question. What types of exercises or sports do you most enjoy? All right, David, taking a second bat at this. All right, David, here we go. David says, my favorite type of sport is soccer. Not only does it help me stay fit and healthy, but it also gives me opportunities to hang out with my friends. We schedule 1 match a week. David, this is still just a band 6. Why? It's not plural. Okay, so it's okay. You've given me 1 answer, but the best answer should be at least 2, right? David, so my favorite type of sport is soccer. Not only does it help me stay fit and healthy, but it also gives me opportunities to hang out with friends. We schedule 1 match a week. I definitely love cardiovascular exercise. Aside from soccer, I go for a jog once or twice a week around my neighborhood. Okay, now we've got 2. Now we've progressed this to a band 9. Okay, notice there's a lot more content, a lot more fluency, a lot more clarity, and it's answering the question a lot more accurately, right? So you've got 2 in there. Yeah, David, exactly. David says, I forgot that I have to give 2. Yeah, it's hard. It's easy to miss that, right? Kruti has this answer for us. I love the exercises like aerobic and yoga as it improves my flexibility and strengthens the muscles and bones. Just like today morning, I did aerobics for 30 minutes. Right on, Kruti. That's a good answer. Yeah, that could get you a band 8 to 9 because you're giving me 2 and you're giving me good explanations and good answers, right? Once you get it, it's not terribly difficult. You're like, oh, I get it. Just answer the question, the specific question with details, with the right tense, and include the explanation in the example. I get it. I know it sounds simple, but it's not easy, right? And that's right. That's true. Okay. It does take practice. Okay. All right. Toonie Toon has this answer for us. Okay. Toonie Toon says, I personally don't play any sports or do any exercises because I don't want to feel tired. However, I prefer playing indoor activities such as badminton and swimming. This would be a band 5. Why? Okay. So why do you think I would give this a band 5? Even though it seems fluent, it's more or less accurate. It's a band 5 in my books based on content. Again, we don't have pronunciation or fluency yet, but just on content. Why is this a band 5? Amra says it's a negative answer. It's not a band 5 just because it's a negative answer, Amra. So that's not really it. It's not in itself wrong. So giving a negative answer on its own is not necessarily wrong. There's something else here. Fuang says it's a negative answer. No, not really. Tip Top says it doesn't really answer the question. What do you mean, Tip Top? Aditya, there you go. Aditya is right. Aditya says it's confusing, right? So if I'm the examiner, this is what I'm thinking. Okay, and again, in the real world, if I'm your friend, Toonie Toon, I would sit there and I'd be like, okay, so you don't like exercise, but you do like to do badminton and swimming, which is kind of exercise and sport. So what do you mean? Right? And then I'd ask you for more explanation because I'd be really confused at this point what you're actually trying to tell me, right? So the examiner won't do that. The examiner will just say, okay, let's go to the next question, right? So the examiner is thinking like, so you do or don't like badminton or swimming? And it's kind of like that, right? So Toonie Toon, it's literally focusing on what I just explained, right? Remember everybody where I gave you this tip just moments ago? I said, do not let your emotions or desire to give a piece of information control your content. See how easy it is? It's really easy as a human to make that mistake. Like we can literally just hear that advice and then make that mistake, right? So here, I feel like it was Toonie Toon, your desire to tell me that you don't like doing exercise, which controlled your answer, and that made your answer really confusing, okay? So stay away from negative answers because yes, they can be very confusing, okay? And definitely go for clarity. So in this case, if you do like to play badminton and swimming, Toonie Toon, I would say something like, whenever instead of saying I don't like it because I don't have energy or I feel tired, whenever I have time and energy, I like to play badminton or go swimming. I like the fast pace of badminton, and I like the refreshing feeling of water after a good swim. I swam for about an hour at my local pool yesterday or last Sunday. Sure. Okay. So you don't have to tell me that you don't do it because it makes you feel tired, right? I'm not asking you that. So don't just volunteer that information. You don't have to volunteer information on the IELTS exam. Remember that, students. That's a really good tip for you. You don't have to volunteer information. Do not feel that you need to volunteer information. Okay, like, I hate sports. Sports suck. I never want to do them. I get injured and I feel just tired, and then I don't want to do anything or talk to anybody for like a week. Last time I played soccer, I broke my leg. It was horrible. Too much information. Okay. So, no, not needed. Okay. The examiner might be like, okay, I'm scared. So just control the content, right? All right. Okay, students, we've got lots more questions here for you coming up, okay? And to give you further and greater insight into the importance of pronunciation, the importance of enunciation, fluency especially, we're going to practice these questions with you and your peers through some volunteering, okay? All right, Amra and Carolina, thank you. You have both put the instructions into the chat, so just take a look at what Amra and Carolina have put there. To volunteer for speaking, we're going to use our website. It has a nice chat interface, okay? And we need you to go to aehelp.ca IELTS.com. Yeah, the moderators are on the ball. They are money. David, that's right. So go to aehelp.com, go to your My Student account. If you don't have one, create one. You can create one for free. You don't have to pay for this. Although, if you like these live classes and you plan to be here regularly, I definitely recommend joining the premium version of the course. Make sure that you have a working microphone headset, you have a good internet connection, okay? Click on Student Partner Speaking, make sure your microphone is enabled. I highly recommend testing the system with another person. Just send a message and say, hey, I'm new here, can I just say hello, to make sure that the audio and microphone speakers are working. And then you can volunteer. So you can do it at General IELTS here on the green website as well. The chat is actually intertwined. It's linked between the two websites. I'm going to use the academic one right now. Again, you can join the premium version by clicking that big red button right above my head. It's not a lot of money. It's lifetime access. You only have to pay once. And then you go to your My Student account. In your My Student account, you have tons of helpful tools, practice exams, IELTS interactive course. You have workbook study plans. You've got lesson videos for all the different sections, and much, much more. And then here you have your student partner speaking. Okay. Click on that. If you see that red button, the register for IELTS, it's actually right kind of behind me. That means you can register for your home-based IELTS exam through the website as well. If you don't see it, it's because it's not available yet. IDP, I'm sure, is working on making it available in your country, but you'll have to check the availability. So we click on the student partner speaking, accept the terms. I'm going to put on my headset here so I can hear you better. And then you see this nice list of students here. So we've got Aditya, Abhiraj. You will also see some students have this premium student badge. Premium students definitely try to connect with each other so you can use the website regularly to practice with each other as well. You're going to see me in here also. I will be listed as master, all capital letters. It's not because I'm narcissistic, but it's just because the way the developers named the master user. So when you find master in the list, you can send me, by the way, the word narcissistic that I use, that means a person who loves themselves. They're like, hey, I'm awesome. That's a narcissist. So maybe I'm a little bit, but not terribly. Okay, so click on the blue envelope that's next to the name, and then you can send me a message that says, hey, I'd like to try. Aditya, you've been really on the ball in this class today. You've been very active in the chat, giving some good answers. I'm all for giving you a shot at these first few questions. Are you ready? I will always ask to see if you're ready. That tests your connection, and also make sure that you didn't get up to go for a cup of coffee or tea. So are you ready? There's a 6-second delay between YouTube and real life. The website has no delay, so keep that in mind. Okay, yes, Aditya.
Hello.
Hi, Aditya.
Hey, hi, Adrian. Good morning.
How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. And how about you?
I'm doing fantastic as well. Thank you for asking me.
Good to know.
All right, Aditya, as we head into these practice questions, can you just tell everybody where you are in our big, beautiful world and why you're doing the IELTS exam?
Yeah, so on the second question first, I'm not sure why I'm doing. I just want to improve my English. And currently, I'm living in India, specifically in city of Pune, which is located in Maharashtra, on the west side of India.
Nice, nice. See, that's a nice fluent answer. That's exactly what we're looking for in the IELTS exam. All right, let's jump into it, Aditya. So welcome to the speaking section of the IELTS exam. My name is Adrian. I will be your examiner for this part of the test. What is your full name?
So my full name is Aditya Atul Shastri, but you can call me with my first name, Aditya.
May I see your identification?
Yes, here you go. This is my passport that I use for registration and just to check in this center as well.
Okay, for part one, I will ask you a couple of questions to get to know you better and some questions on a general topic. Do you work or study?
Currently, I'm working full time for a well-known clothing brand. I help them to build their back-end IT systems.
What do you do in your free time?
In my free time, you would usually find me going for a cycling trip with my friends. Like just the last weekend, I was cycling around Pune city for around like 40 odd kilometers.
Let's talk about exercise and sport. How often do you engage in physical exercise?
I'm quite regular at physical exercise. As I said, I'm an avid cyclist, so I try to do at least 200 kilometers of cycling each week that I distribute it at in 4 or 5 days.
Okay, I'm going to stop there. Aditya, you're
Thank you.
getting the hang of it. That's really good.
Thank you.
Nice. So your band score is actually very high. It would be for what you did so far. I would say I would be comfortable giving you a band 8.5, and I think if you keep going this way, you can even reach a band 9. So you don't just go kind of down in band score; you can go up in band score, especially if you keep showing good English. So I'll tell you why I would say 8.5. However, if you kind of keep going the way that you were, then I might actually consider a band 9. You'd be one of those students where I would actually have a second listen to the recording. So as many of you might know, in the IELTS they record your speech,
Yeah.
and especially when it's very high band score, so band 8, 8.59, to make the final decision, the examiners will often listen a second time, or they might even ask one of their colleagues to listen and ask what they would give, and then make the final decision. Your fluency, your grammatical range, accuracy, they're all really, really great. When we get into those really high band scores, so band 8, band 9, it really does come down a lot to content as well. So what
Yeah.
you're saying, how you're saying it, and I think you're doing a really good job. You're specific to the questions. You're giving me some very nice, clear, quantitative information, like 200 kilometers. You're connecting between your answers. So you said, as I said, because you told me about the hobby of cycling before.
Yeah.
So you made that
Exactly.
really good connection there, and that those were all really good. There were only just a couple of little finicky pieces that I was plucking away at,
Mhm.
like for instance. When you said currently I'm working full time for a well-known clothing brand, and you said I help them with their IT backend. One question that I felt you left me hanging on here was like, okay, it's a well-known clothing brand, but why wouldn't you just tell me what it is, right? It's like, why are you
Okay.
keeping it a
Yeah, it's
secret, right?
just more like it's a public platform, so that could be one of the reasons I didn't just say that. But I would say that in the real exam, maybe.
Yeah. So you always, so this is for those students who are, of course, going for these very, very high band scores, and it's challenging to get those band 9s, but it is possible. You have to always kind of self-check as you're speaking, and you have to be like, okay, I just told him that it's a well-known clothing brand, so I should probably tell him what it is, because otherwise his brain is going to get stuck on that, right?
Yeah.
What clothing brand is it? Is it
Yeah.
Gucci? Is it
Exactly.
Versace? What is it, right? So
Yeah.
so you
Actually, Versace.
it is Versace. Okay, so you don't want the examiner's brain to be stuck on
Yeah.
thinking about a
Absolutely.
question,
I'll
right?
add that. I'll add
Yeah.
that.
Very good though, Aditya. Very, very good. You're definitely on the right track. Now, for those candidates who are like you, Aditya, so I'm speaking to everybody here, when you do such a good job with these speaking part one questions, one of the most important advice that I can give you is focus a lot of your time and energy on part two and part three practice, because
Yeah.
that's where your band score will be decided. So in part one, at this level, Aditya, the examiner's thinking, okay, this could be a band 8, 8, 5, 9 for sure.
Mhm.
So it's going to be part two where I'm going to be really paying attention to your
Yeah.
content and how you're doing. Okay.
That would be a decider.
Yeah, absolutely. So focus the energy there. Okay, Aditya.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Have a
for
good day.
volunteering. You too.
Yes,
Bye,
absolutely.
Aditya.
Thank
Okay, that was Aditya. Let's give Aditya a thumbs up. That was really, really nice. Starting strong here today. Yeah, so know where to invest your energy based on your performance. Absolutely. Okay. All right. Bamas says, I'm a premium student. I'd like to talk to him. Well, Bamas, I don't see you in here unless you're using a different name. Make sure, Bamas, that you're logged into your account. And if you're using a different name in the chat than in your website account, then you should let me know that. Okay. All right. Let's take Ronit. Ronit, are you ready? Let's ask Ronit some questions here. All right. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. Yes, supporting each other is really important. Hi, Ronit.
Hello, sir.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
Good,
Thanks.
good. Ronit, where are you calling from?
Sir, I'm calling from Bihar, from northern part of India.
From northern part of India, so quite a ways away from Aditya in Maharashtra, right?
Yeah, sir.
How far is it from Bihar to Maharashtra?
I think it is approx 2,000 kilometers.
2,000 kilometers. Wow. Yeah, India's a big country, right?
Yes, sir.
Lots of people, lots of cultures, lots of distances. I can associate with that. Canada's a big country too. Toronto is about 4,000 kilometers from me, 4.5. All right.
Yes,
Ronit, why are you taking the IELTS exam?
Sir, it's because I'm planning to prepare for taking part in German university. And
Jaipur University?
no, sir, it's German university.
Oh, German University. Okay,
Yeah,
misheard you there.
it's
Yeah.
the TUM, a Technical University of Munich.
Okay, nice. Thank you for explaining the acronym. That's very important in the IELTS as well.
Yes, sir.
Always explain those acronyms. Good. All right, well, let me jump
Yes,
into
sir.
a few questions. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's talk about exercise. Did you play any sports or participate in physical activities while in school?
In school, I participated in doing cricket, and I did a great job in that. I won a gold medal in cricket, and I apart from that, I also do crunches when I'm in free. It helps me to stay to keep my mind calm so that I won't get distracted.
How do you feel after a good workout or physical activity?
After physical activity, my mind stays calm, and I also get rest after a bit. So whenever I work after that, there won't be any distraction which keeps me away from my goal.
Okay, let me stop there for a second.
Okay,
All
sir.
right. So, Ronit, that is about a band 5.5 on the IELTS. So it's between modest and fluent English. You need to speak a little bit faster to be considered fluent. So you're taking some awkward breaks between your phrases to think about what you're going to say or how you're going to say it. And that's stopping you from getting that band 6. Okay. And I know that, for applying to universities like in Germany, you need to get at least a 6.5 unless you do a bridge program. But in the right situation, you don't want to do that. You want to just go into your desired major. So really do a lot of practice just to build your fluency. Okay. And focus on the question. Your grammatical accuracy was also about a 5. Your range was higher. It was about a 7. Your pronunciation was quite good. I understood you quite well. So it was about a 7.5. There was one piece I didn't understand, so I'll ask you in a moment. Overall, though, your score, again, it would be about a 5.5 here. So the question is past tense. Did you play any sport or participate in physical activities while in school? And you said, in school, I participated in doing cricket. Okay, first of all, good job using the question. So, in school, I participated in. That was really good because that's telling me that you're understanding the question and you're about to answer that question. So, using the question is a really smart strategy. Your first mistake was here. I participated in doing cricket. What's the correct way to say that, Ronit?
So, sir, sorry. It would be playing.
Exactly. So you play cricket. You don't do cricket. It's a tricky one, right? Like some
Yes, sir.
sports you do, some sports you play. Team sports, soccer, football, volleyball, you play those sports because you're doing it with others. So you're playing it with them. You're not just doing it by yourself, but you're playing it, right? So remember, anytime it's a group activity, it's generally you're playing it, right? So in school, I participated in playing cricket. And then you said, I did a great job in that. I won a gold medal. And then you went off topic. Okay. So you said, apart from that, I also do. And I didn't actually even understand what you said there. What is it that you do? What did you say? You said, I also do
Sir, it's crunches.
crunches. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that was a little bit more difficult explanation there. So crunches are basically abdominal or core workout. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And here it's again that danger of really wanting to tell the truth to the examiner, right? Like, I'm going to tell you the truth. I do 200 crunches a day, but it's tricky. Okay. And it's off topic because it's not what we're asking. We're asking if you did play sports, right? So instead of going off topic and telling me about doing crunches, just stay with the cricket. So in school, I participated in playing cricket and I did a great job in that. I won a gold medal. And so here we want to take out this whole part and we want to stay with cricket. What other information could you include here to give more fluency? What do you think would be kind of a natural piece of information to add to this sentence? So what else can you tell me about playing cricket in school?
In school, I participated in playing cricket and I did a great job in that. There were many spectators who were cheering for me.
Simpler. Ron, it's simpler than that. So when you're thinking about this, just simple is not easy. So don't get me wrong, everybody. Ronit's doing a great job, and simple is not always easy, especially when you're put on the spot, right? Like, here you go, you have to talk. It's sometimes our brain kind of shuts down. Just talk about how long you did it, right? So playing cricket, and I did a great job in that. I won a gold medal. I played from grade 3 all the way to grade 12. And I enjoyed all the 8 years I did it, right? Okay, so just simplify, right? Because we're talking about your school. So naturally, one trick, everybody, that you can use, and you can use this, Ron, is have kind of like an internal conversation with yourself when you're practicing these questions, especially. So, or you can practice this with partners, of course. Like, did you play any sports or participate in physical activities while in school? Yes, I played cricket. Oh, great. When did you play? Oh, I played from grade 3 to grade 12. All right. What position did you play? Well, I played every single position, but my favorite position was batter, right? So you can have this like very simple internal kind of like back and forth, simple little questions. And when you take all those simple little answers and you stick them together, you end up with a great answer that gets you that high band score. So just repeat after me, Ronit. So in school, I participated in playing cricket. I did a great job. I won a gold medal. I played for 8 years from grades 3 to 12, and my favorite position was batter.
Yes, sir. In school, I participated in playing cricket and I did a great job in that. I won a gold medal. I played for 8 years from grade 3 all the way to grade 12, and I enjoyed 8 years I did it. And my favorite position was batter.
Exactly, right? See how once you visualized it and realized what the question was, like, what did you like about it, or what was your favorite position, then your brain immediately gives you that piece, right? Oh, my favorite position was batter or catcher, whatever it was, right? So that's how you do it. So practice those little mini internal questions and dialogues. And now this language that you were giving me, that was way better. That was like a 7.58, no problem. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So, Ronit, you're on the right track, and I actually think you have better English than a 5.5, but you have to be able to show me that with the right information. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right, Ronit, thank you so.
Thank you, sir.
You're so welcome. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, Ronit. All right, that was Ronit. Give Ronit a thumbs up. Ronit actually proved a lot of important points to pay attention to through his response there. So that was really, really great. Okay. All right, let's take somebody else. Let's jump to the bottom of the list. You know, sometimes I think people at the bottom feel that they might be getting left out. So let's do that. Phuong, we haven't heard from you in a long time. We're wondering what happened to you or where you went. So let's reach out to Phuong and let's catch up with Phuong. Phuong, are you ready? Also nice to hear a female voice as well after a couple of gents. Okay. Phuong, if you're with us, let me know. All right, Phuong is there. Oh no, Phuong, it sounds like you picked up, but I can't hear you. I know sometimes there are internet issues in your neck of the woods, in your area of the world, or in your locality. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe I'll circle back to you in a little bit, Phuong. Just try to check what's going on there. We'd love to catch up and figure out what happened there. All right. Or did you just reconnect? Well, let's try it. Nope, still can't hear you, Phuong. So not sure what's going on there. All right, Abhiraj, I think might be a new person. Let's reach out to Abhiraj. Abhiraj, are you ready? No worries, Phuong. You're in the class, and if we don't catch up today, then definitely this week. As long as you're in the class, I'm sure we'll figure it out. Abhiraj, if you're there, if you're seeing my message and you're still excited and interested in trying a couple of these questions with me, just let me know. Yes, there you are. Okay. You beat me to my sip of coffee. All right. Hello, Abhiraj, are you there? Oh, I hear someone.
Yeah.
Abhiraj? Hi, are you there?
Yeah,
Hi, Abhiraj. How are
I'm
you?
good. What about you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. Abhiraj, where are you calling from?
I'm from Nepal.
From Nepal. And I think this is our first time interacting, right?
Yeah,
That's great. Why are you doing the IELTS exam?
mm, I go every foreign country for my further study.
For your further studies. All right. Abhiraj, I'm going
Yeah.
to ask you a couple of questions. Just give me some nice full sentence answers. Imagine like I'm your grandpa or your grandma. You're comfortable with me, and I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to give you some help with your English. Are you ready?
Yeah,
All right, let's do this. So let's talk about physical exercise and sports. What are some popular forms of exercise or sports in your country or in your region?
well, here in my country, there are the many of the sports and exercise are the famous. I would like to tell you about the sports which is the uh, famous in my country is football. the many individuals are like to play football, so because the football is the one thing that you can do all your body exercise you can do your physical exercise you can do.
Are there any sports or activities you wish to try but haven't yet?
Yeah, I wanna try play cricket, but not yet in the future
Why?
because I like to play cricket, but I am now trying to study hard, so I don't have much time, so I can try now.
Okay. All right. So your band score is so far, based on those two responses, kind of close to a 5, which is modest English. You're answering the questions. Your answers make sense. So I do understand the answer, and they are connected to the question, and they're original. But there are several places where I'm really trying to figure out exactly what you're trying to tell me. I'm not sure, so I'm kind of guessing in my head. I'm like, what was that exactly? So my first tip for you, okay, is slow down, think about your answer, and really put it together in a more clearer, more understandable way. Okay, so a little bit slower. So let's just jump back to this question. I asked you, what are some popular forms of exercise or sports in your country or region? And the first couple of sentences that you told me, I know you were very nervous, so it's okay. It didn't really make much sense. I'm like, what's going on? And then I caught the word football. So I'm like, okay. So you're telling me that football is popular. But then your explanation became really strange. You said one reason football is, and then you said you can do your physical exercise, and it started to become weird because it was like you're talking about me doing my physical exercise, and it was kind of strange. So the explanation was quite awkward, right? And that's why I got an answer, but it wasn't considered a band 6 level. It was more like a band 5 level, okay? First tip, be very specific. So when the question is, what are some popular forms of exercise or sports in your country or region? Say Nepal. So, well, in my country, Nepal, one of the sports, just be very clear, one of the sports that is very popular is football. Kids play it in school, and there are millions of fans around the country.
Okay.
Now, when I think of Nepal, I also think of mountaineering. I know Nepal has some of the highest peaks of the Himalayas, so that's one that comes to my mind immediately. Also, mountaineering is very popular, as of course Nepal is home to some of the highest peaks in the Himalayas. Okay. So slow it down. Don't rush into it. Okay. And really focus on specific vocabulary and details. Try this answer with me. Okay. So I'm going to say this answer and then just repeat when I'm finished. So, well, in my country, Nepal, one of the sports that is very popular is football. Kids play it in school. There are millions of fans around the country. Also, mountaineering is very popular, as of course Nepal is home to some of the highest peaks in the Himalayas. Go for it.
Okay.
What are some of the most popular forms of exercise and sports in your country or region?
Well, in my country, there are the there are the many sports, and sports are popular like cricket, there are the many kids
No, just
and
slow down, slow down. Just repeat the same answer. Just stick with the same answer. Okay? So just go with the answer. If you have to, cheat a little bit and read from the screen. I'll say it one more time. Well, in my country, Nepal, one of the sports that
okay,
is
okay,
very
okay, I'll
popular
try.
is football. Kids play it
Yeah.
in school, and there are millions of fans around the country. Also, mountaineering is very popular, as of course, Nepal is home to some of the highest peaks in the Himalayas. Go
Okay,
for it.
okay, 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 I'll try. Well, in my country, Nepal, one of the sports that is very popular in football. Kids in play it in schools, and there are millions of fans around the country. Also, mountaineering is very popular. As of course, Nepal is home to some of the highest peak in the Himalayas.
Okay, good. All right, so not bad. Pronunciation of some letters, the S letter needs a bit of work. So definitely do a little bit of pronunciation practice when you have the chance in the day, okay? Especially for some of the sounds like the S's, okay?
Okay,
All right. Thank you so much for volunteering. Make sure to come back again in future classes, Abhiraj, okay?
okay, thanks, sir. Thanks, sir.
You're very welcome. Have a great rest of the day. All right, that was Abhiraj. That was good. Let's reach out to let's hear a female voice. I think Tatiana for sure. Tatiana, are you ready? Tatiana's ready to slay the answer. Okay, Tatiana, you can slay some answers here. All right.
Oh,
Hi, Tatiana. How are you?
amazing. How are you?
I'm doing quite well also, and I can see that you're ready to slay some answers. Is that right?
Absolutely.
All right. It's very modern day slang, by the way. Good for you. Where did you pick that up?
Somewhere on the internet to slay the day in some motivating memes or pictures. Ready to slay your day?
Yeah, there's some really weird expressions or idioms in English that you would think are very negative. Like the word slay means to kill,
Yeah,
right? So,
decapitate.
yeah, that's one way to slay is to decapitate. For sure. Decapitate, by the way, everybody means to cut off the head. So take the cap off, decapitate.
So slay doesn't mean only decapitation, but
No.
killing in general. Oh,
Yes, exactly. So slay means to kill with a lot of authority. So it's like the victim doesn't have a chance against the attacker. That's why the expression when you slay the day, it means that you really kill the day, like you really defeat it. Without any chance of the day making you negative or depressed. So that's why it works, right? The other interesting word like that we use in a lot of everyday language is wicked. Wicked means to be like very kind of evil or wrong, but we actually use it strangely in slang English. We use that in a very positive way. So you show me your new smartwatch and I say, oh wow, that's wicked. It actually means what an awesome watch, which is
like
strange.
sick.
Yeah, like sick. Yeah, sick is another one. So that's sick actually means that's awesome. So we have these weird like counterintuitive slangs like slay and wicked and sick. So yeah, interesting vocabulary there. And used correctly, those can get you marks. Absolutely. Okay.
I did my best.
It was good. It was a good introduction of
Okay.
a strange part of the English language. All right, Tatiana, are you ready for a few questions?
As ready as always.
All right, then let's talk about exercises and sports.
Let's do it.
Here we go. Are there any sports or activities you wish to try but haven't yet?
Given a chance, I would try motorcycling because it's an interesting and fashionable, I'd say, activity. And I would like to see myself wearing a helmet and sitting on a bike, enjoying the speed. And I'd like to be the owner of a motorbike.
How do you motivate yourself to exercise, especially on days when you don't feel like it?
To encourage myself to do physical activity, I remind myself that if I don't do any, I will suffer later, as it will tells upon my health, my energy, my performance in general, because I have a sedentary lifestyle. So I start, and I tell myself that after a few minutes I will feel better, more energetic, and it usually happens. So just this morning I was talking myself into doing morning exercises.
Were you really?
I was.
Okay. All right. That is the end of part 1. We will now go on to part 2. Good. Couple of really great strategies. I'll give you some feedback. So that was good. Definitely around a band 8, potentially higher. So again, it's kind of the same feedback as with Aditya. So you're on the right track. You're doing really well for these part 1 questions. I would actually decide your band level later on based on your part 2, part 3 response. So for those candidates who are hitting these kind of band 7, 5, 8, 8.5, potentially 9 in part 1, your overall mark will really be decided based on your part 2, part 3 responses, okay? All right, let me give you some feedback here. Are there any sports or activities you wish to try but haven't yet? Firstly, very good job. You realize that this is kind of a conditional. So you said, oh, given a chance, I would try motorcycling. Sure, that is considered a sport or an activity because it's interesting and fashionable. I thought the explanation was a bit strange, but it made sense.
Trendy, probably.
Maybe trendy, but there's a very interesting game show that was very popular throughout the decades in North America called Family Feud. And anyway, the goal of the game show is to try to think about the most popular answers that people give to questions. So if you ever want to kind of think about this, or you could watch this show. It's called Family Feud. It's kind of fun. Family Feud. There's old ones that started like 50 years ago. There's new ones. I think they're still on. They still make them. And anyway, I think if they ask this question, the reasons why people motorcycle, what's the top answer? I think most people would say because it's exhilarating. It's an adrenaline rush. So they do it because it's really exciting, right? And then maybe like number 3 or number 4 might be it's trendy, right? So when you're practicing for the IELTS, and this is a tip for everybody, try to think about the most common answer first and foremost, because that's always going to be the easiest for your listener to understand, right? So given a chance, I would try motorcycling because it's an exhilarating activity. Do you know this word, Tatiana? Exhilarating?
Yes, I do. It is something that makes you feel enthusiastic, gives you joy, happiness.
Lots of adrenaline, lots of energy, lots of excitement, right? If you don't know the word exhilarating, you could go with the word exciting, right? Activity, and it's fashionable, right?
Yeah, it's Instagrammable.
It's Instagrammable. Just make sure you're not doing selfies while catwalking a motorbike on the street, right? People do it all the time. So.
Oh wow, no, a big no.
Yeah. So stay safe, everybody out there. All right. Okay. So one really good technique that you used, and I want to emphasize this as well while I have everybody with me, is for this second question. When I asked you how you motivate yourself to exercise, first of all, you use some very nice complex grammar that will get you high scores. You use some very interesting forms of the conditional language here, that if I don't do it, I will suffer. My health and my energy levels will be low. And then you kind of started to drift at the end, and you realize that. You're like, uh-oh, I'm drifting with my answer. Before this examiner stops me in a very awkward place, I need to finish this up clearly. And so you jumped to this example. You said, just this morning, I was talking myself into doing morning exercise. And, you know, that was great. That was really great. So you jumped into the real world, and because you did that, you presented me with more good language, like I was talking myself into. And that's a very nice piece of language. I would actually give you some marks for that. So, oh, okay, she's familiar with this expression, to talk yourself into doing an activity. And the collocation morning exercise. So for both of those, you were picking up points. Very clever. Okay, you're paying attention to classes, so that was really, really good. Just keep doing that, Tatiana. So you're on the right track, and focus on part 2 and part 3. Okay.
Thank you. I will.
All right, and keep slaying English. All right, keep slaying it.
I will.
All right, Tatiana. Have a great rest of your day.
Likewise. Thank you for your help and great advice.
You're very welcome. Bye, Tatiana. All right. And some good language there, right? Okay, everybody, we're running out of time, and we've come to the end of those part 1 questions, but that doesn't mean you need to quit. Remember, everyone, you're in here together. There are lots of premium students in here as well. Talk to each other. Ask these questions while they're fresh in your mind. Use the vocabulary that you learned in this class while it's fresh in your mind. Apply the strategies that you learned in this class while they are fresh in your mind. So just because I'm leaving doesn't mean you have to. And I will be back tomorrow as well. Remember, everyone, you can join the premium IELTS package by clicking on these big red buttons. It doesn't cost a lot. And you have all the content organized in one place. You join a community of great students, of great content, and you're on your way to great IELTS scores. For general IELTS students, it's gieltshelp.com. For academic IELTS students, it's aehelp.com. I will be back tomorrow with reading for members and listening for subscribers. So certainly come back tomorrow. Join me again. Thank you, Amra. Thank you, Carolina, for moderating the class. I hope all of you have an awesome rest of your day. If you have questions, just let us know. We're here for you. Much love to all of you, wherever you are in our big, beautiful world. Always stay positive and keep moving forward. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out for today. Bye for now, everyone.